island of Manhattan, turned into a prison. And this time we are here to see what this expansion of the police force of the United States adds. This expansion that brings us some plastic figures in the form of police officers and the figure of Hauk, who is the one who was the boss in the John Carpenter movie. Let's see what this adds to the base game. As you can see, the explanation is not a big deal. Nor the components we have here, like a cardboard, some cards, some plastic figures, and little else. I have assembled a standard game for 2 players, this time playing with Cerebro and Maggie with their partner in the movie. And I'm in the middle of a game in which I've been seeing how the added mechanics work. And now I'm going to tell you about it in great detail. In short, basically what it is about is adding some elements that make life easier for the players and others that increase the difficulty a bit, both for the cooperative victory in the team and for the victory alone. They sell it to you as it increases the difficulty level of the game. I don't know. I think what increases a little more than anything is the complexity. It adds a little more grace, some new rules. I don't know if they didn't dare to put them directly in the base game and they preferred to take them out like this, with this expansion, or as optional rules. I don't know very well. But let's say they make it a little more complex. In fact, you can see that even in the preparation of the game, a bridge diagram is already placed in sight, most of which already have their own brain. There are even some policemen who have already appeared around here. This area, this plot is already there. That bridge is already explored. Then the preparation changes a bit and a series of victory conditions change, which now I will get into a little bit in those issues. First, let's see a little how the situation of the game is. There are 3 missions available right now. In fact, they are the 3 active jobs, the 3 active missions. It is the maximum that you can have active. They are missions of level 1. Of phase 1, because there are like 3 levels, or 3 phases of 3 types of missions. And I have stopped the game right at this moment when this card appears. Now I will tell you about it. These missions appear when the timer tiles turn over. You know what the timer tiles are, which are those that we do not want to turn over, or that the players do not want to turn over because time passes and if the time runs out, they lose the game. Well, when those timer tiles turn over, you have to steal mission cards, also reward cards, and place them on the left. The cards on the right, because there are limits of 3, the cards on the right disappear. In this case, there was a free space, because Maggie, the player who carries Maggie, well, actually, I carry both characters, has managed to get a car. Surely I do not remember correctly. I think she got a car from a prisoner. And that has helped her to solve the first mission, this one called, "Come on, we are wasting time. You must have a car or taxi." As soon as that condition was fulfilled, she was able to add a cop to any already revealed box, and also took the reward. This reward, which are basically always points, the number of points of reward can vary, but to be able to leave the island and obtain the victory in cooperative mode, this expansion requires you to have a certain number of points, always adding those that all the players have obtained. The fact is that Maggie has fulfilled this mission, she has taken this reward, and the players will not know how many points they need to win in cooperative mode until the transition card from 2 to 3 is revealed. Right now, the transition card from 1 to 2 has been revealed. But let's say that here there are missions numbered from 1 to 3. All of them have been fulfilled. That is, all of them have been revealed from 1. And this card has appeared. Because in the card from 2 to 3, let's say, it tells you how many points in total you need to be able to obtain the victory in cooperative mode, which adds a little difficulty to the game. And when this transition card from 1 to 2 appears, immediately all you have to do is what it indicates here, that Bob Hauk goes down to this position 2 of this board, and let's say that it increases, well, and this card is discarded, obviously, and what increases in this case is the number of advantages or aids that the police will offer to the players. Basically, the players will be able to use all the advantages of Level 1 and also those of Level 2, which also in this case have two options, each one, that is, you could use the same option twice or mix it. And to be able to use these advantages, there is a new card. Let's look here at the deck of discarded cards. It has it in its deck. It has it in its hand. For example, those of Brain, well, the expansion introduces this new card for all the players, which is the entry card, which allows you to solve a service, work, mission card, and/or activate the actions of unlocked police, which are, in this case, already the one of one and the one of two. Basically, these two consist of moving police officers or attacking with them and loading some prisoners with them. The police officers are, as far as I know, they are immortal. They can move around the board with a lot of freedom. They are not affected by anything. They cannot use the cars, but they do serve for the players to eliminate enemies that are disturbing them. And this third level, well, let's say it has a little more elaborated skill. Choose a box with a police officer, steal a reward card from another player whose hero or heroine is in this box, and add it to yours. That is, steal reward cards. Don't ask me. Don't ask me why that can be interesting, because those rewards are supposed to be used to win in cooperative. They are not used for individual victory. In what increases the difficulty of victory in solitaire? Well, victory in solitaire becomes more difficult because not only do you have to meet all the conditions of the base game, that if you have to reach level 3, that if you have to meet your 2 personal goals, for example, I'm going to show you those that Maggie has here. Maggie, the ones that she has to meet right now is, well, find a raft, escape with a raft, and find the fake ribbon. Apart from that, you have to reach level 3 as in the standard game, and here is the added difficulty. Well, more than all the standard conditions that must be met in the base game, you have to get a load extractor to get an individual victory. And this, as you can see, is mixed here in the deck with these new load extractor cards, which apparently there are only 2. It is mixed here in the deck of objects, so you have to get a load extractor because, you know, if it doesn't explode your head or the jugular vein, I don't remember very well where they had been injected to the protagonist of the film. The fact is that the collective victory becomes a little more complicated because you have to add a series of victory points doing missions for Bob Hauk. In fact, in this case, they need 7 points in total, those who want to leave the island of Manhattan as a team. At the moment, Maggie has only collected 2. If you want the individual victory, you have to find a load extractor. If not, you can't win the game. And there is a new element, if I remember correctly, that gets between the suitcases, which also helps to have an alternative escape route, apart from the ones that there are with the air slider, the helicopter, and all this. But hey, that's one more addition that makes it a little easier for the players to flee, because we are already adding quite a lot of complication. We also have, as I said before, a bridge, I always said in a random way, already in sight or already available to cross. We have this tracker that helps us achieve a collective victory using the helicopter instead of the bridge. I think this is suggested in the film. The truth is that I do not remember if it is what Bob Hauk proposes to the protagonist, the snake, to flee. The tracker, I'm sure he wore it. And then, to make life a little easier for the players, there are these police officers that can be added. For example, you can see that they have tried to place one there in the World Trade Center to protect the air slider because you already know that it is one of the first points to which the game attacks, tries to destroy that air slider, and well, I don't know if they also go for the helicopter, but let's say they are the classic mechanics of the base game that try to destroy the escape routes of the players. And for this, there are these police officers, which are chips, neutral components that all players can use with these new cards that have been added to the base game. Well, basically this is it. There is not much more. The rest of the rounds, the turns develop with total normality, and the only thing that changes is the moment when you play one of those entry cards. If you play one of these cards, then you apply the new effects, usually to use the police officers. This police officer, for example, could shoot here, charge a prisoner, and you could solve missions that give you points, and that you have no choice but to solve, because you have already seen that in the end, randomly, this card is chosen at the beginning of the game, and well, they need 7 points for a victory in a row. New missions that increase the difficulty and a series of neutral chips that you can use to eliminate enemies from the board, which helps you a little in your work. This is what this expansion adds to the game. I think it can be compatible with all modes. That is, it could be played with all at once. It could be played with the New York bands. It could be played with a 5th player, and this could be added all at once. And the mini expansions that also come for those who have bought the Olin of the game, the Stret Calls or whatever it's called. Well, you can put the bridge. You can put all the bullshit that has been invented to sell us the motorcycle. The motorcycle that does not appear in this movie. It appears in Rescue Los Angeles. But hey, on the motorcycle it also mounts Snake Plissken. Yes? Okay. Let's go.